everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Colavita Cooking Live. Welcome to my studio kitchen in my house, not going outside, just inside. And I hope everyone is safe and healthy, also inside, and cooking things like what we're going to cook today. So before I get into that, welcome everybody, and if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. This is Colavita Cooking Live, and my name is Elena Iachifano. I'm the Director of Marketing at Colavita USA, and we started this series to sort of help you find some things to cook in your pantry, because it's tough out there right now, and it's also a little sketchy going to the grocery store, especially this week. So this recipe that I'm making today, you should hopefully have everything on hand. It is super easy and actually one of my favorite recipes. But before I get to that, we are here every Tuesday and Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on Facebook and on Instagram and on colavita.com. You can also watch the live feed there. And if you'll be so kind as to sign up for our newsletter on colavita.com, you'll get a quick and easy replay of everything we do here and recipes to follow along. We also have polls on Facebook and Instagram, so you can vote for what you'd like me to make next. This content is all generated by you guys, so we are making what you tell me to make. And excited to do it. So today, I'm very excited to present to you Cacio e Pepe pasta. So last week when we took a poll, Facebook wanted to see cacio e pepe, but Instagram wanted to see carbonara. So we did the carbonara on Thursday, but kind of felt, Facebook, we have to give you what you need. So cacio e pepe is here today, and it's here to stay. This is one of my all-time favorite pasta dishes, and probably also one of the easiest. Of course, as always, with a few tricks, variations, and fun things thrown in, as we like to do. So I'm going to start by heating up my skillet. And I'm going to talk through some of the ingredients. This is always the tricky part. Oh good, not so tricky today. Okay, so all you will need for this recipe is Colavita olive oil. I've got our premium selection here. Freshly ground black pepper, a lot of it. Maybe about 2 tablespoons, honestly. I have actually pounded mine fresh from the peppercorn in this little mortar and pestle. It's good for taking out your extra aggression when you've been inside for multiple days at a time. But regular pepper, freshly ground in like a pepper mill, works just great. And we have Colavita bucatini. So this recipe is for a strand shape of pasta. Strand shapes. I've pre-cooked this. I'll tell you about that in a second. And bucatini actually has like a little hole in it. You could probably use it as a straw, kind of like a Twizzler. And it's definitely a little thicker than spaghetti. And I like bucatini for this dish. The pepper clings to it really nicely. The cheese clings to it really nicely. You get a little bit more noodle, which I like. So we're using the bucatini, but you could use spaghetti. I know things are a little crazy, so honestly, use the pasta that you have on hand. I'm just telling you what is traditional and recommended and preferable for this kind of dish, but use whatever you got. You got wagon wheels, use them. I love wagon wheels, by the way. I also have pecorino cheese. Now, this dish is traditional to be used with a sheep's milk cheese. It originated in the north of Italy, and it was very common for shepherds to make this. So it traditionally calls for sheep's milk cheese, like pecorino or cacio cheese, which is sometimes a wee bit hard to find depending on where you are. So pecorino is a great option. If you have Parmesan cheese and that's all you have, I would say use that. It'll be delicious. Okay, so that's it. We've got oil, we've got pepper, bucatini. I'm only making half a pound here because we are drowning in pasta. We are carb overloaded in this house right now, but nothing is going to waste, don't worry. And we have cheese. We also have, this is probably the key ingredient after the olive oil, of course, pasta water. So I cooked the pasta a little less than al dente. So a little undercooked because it's going to finish cooking in the pan. And I reserved 2 cups, I won't need it all, 2 cups of the starchy pasta water because there's no cream in this dish. So all of that creaminess comes from the starches in the water being added in, remixed into the pasta. So very important you save that. Let's see. What else can I tell you about? Okay, so there are a few variations to make this dish. First of all, before I get into that, if you guys have questions, please leave them in the comments, and if we don't see them, we might miss them, we will definitely respond back to you and give you our best guess at an answer. No, our answer. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I've heated up my pan a little bit, and I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons or so of olive oil to the pan. 2, okay, 2, or maybe a little more. That's more like 3, but that's okay. And the next thing I'm going to do, this recipe moves really fast, which is amazing. You will have dinner on the table in like 15 minutes, 15-20 minutes, so it's great. I'm going to have this all made for us later tonight. I'm so excited about it. So I'm going to get my heat-proof spatula, and what I like to do here is I actually like to toast up the peppercorns in the pan before I add everything in. I think it releases the aromas, gets everything nice and toasted. So I have a half a pound of pasta, and I think I'm going to add about maybe a little less than 2 tablespoons for that half a pound. Keep in mind, you can always add more. Now I'm not adding any salt because I salted my pasta water quite liberally, so it's like salty seawater, and my pecorino cheese, also very salty. So no extra salt is needed for this one. Now the first time I had this dish, I was actually in Rome with my mom, and we went to a little trattoria. What's that? Speak up! I need to speak up sometimes. The first time I had this dish, I was in Rome with my mom at a trattoria. We had actually been watching one of Anthony Bourdain's episodes, and he recommended to go to this place, and I guess we got lucky. It was before everybody, went there on his recommendation, and I was served cacio pepe in a little bowl of cheese, and it was actually a very generous portion, and I ate the whole thing, including the bowl, which you're supposed to do, just saying, no judging. So I want to explain to you, I have a tiny cheese bowl that I made yesterday, and I'm going to explain to you how I did that, because it's a really fun way to serve this. If you happen to have extra cheese, or when we're allowed to have parties again as a little appetizer, it's a really fun idea. Okay, so my pepper is getting all nice and warm. I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit. So I want to talk for a minute about cacio pepe because it's become incredibly popular lately, and you could go down one road, big eye roll, another cacio pepe thing, but honestly, I'm trying to look on the bright side these days of everything, and I think it's a lovely compliment. The dish is so delicious that people are making it all different kinds of ways. I've even seen cacio pepe shortbread. We have a recipe on colavita.com for cacio e pepe soup using little tubatini pasta. It's really good. And last night, I actually made a Cacio e Pepe pizza for us for dinner, and I was over the moon about it. So I really feel like these little iterations and experimentations with Cacio e Pepe are amazing, because it's a testament to how good this is. So if you guys haven't tried any of that stuff, you have a favorite, please let us know in the comments. I would like to attempt to make it, to be honest with you. And if anybody would like to know how I made the Cacio e Pepe pizza, just let us know in the comments and I'll send you along some instructions. Okay, so this is nice and warm. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a little bit of pasta water. Here's my pasta water, and I'm going to add 1/4 cup. Keep in mind, I only have a ½ pound of pasta. I think that's about right. Okay, so what I want this to do is come to a nice sizzle. It is sizzling, but I need that water to kind of boil a bit. So I'm going to give that just a few minutes. Because I want this pasta water to be nice and hot. So the cheese will melt, the pasta will finish cooking, and everything will go together so beautifully. Okay, so let's see. What else did I want to tell you about Cacio e Pepe? I'm trying to think.
What other cheeses could you use?
Oh, what other cheeses could I use? For example, so I have pecorino, which like I said is a sheep's milk, and if you can find Cacio cheese, use that, but your next best would be Parmesan, a hard cheese that's salty is basically what you want here. So use what you can, because that's the kind of cooking situation we're all in right now. We just have to use what we've got. Okay, so this is boiling. So what I'm going to do now is the pasta goes in. Ta-da! Amazing. Okay, and this is when I bring out the tongs. Excellent cooking instrument. Okay, and we are going to cook this for about 2 minutes in the pasta water so it will finish cooking and get all peppery. And if you feel like at this point you might want to add some more pepper, I'm thinking, you know, I don't know that I have enough pepper. Now's your time. So something you could do here is, this would be a little bit of a variation, shall we say, but you could add some hot pepper if you like hot pepper. Not traditionally sanctioned by this dish, but a little hot pepper if you like some spice, I'm going to say go ahead. You could, let's see. Ooh, do you hear that? That's nice. Okay. I am almost at my desired level of pepperiness. We're going in for a little bit more. Okay. So now all of that water has actually been absorbed. The pasta has taken it in and we're done. So I'm going to turn this heat off and I'm going to add my cheese. And I'm going to add about 1/4 cup and I'm going to stir and stir. It's all in the stirring here, and the hot pan and the hot noodles are going to start to melt all that cheese and make it really creamy. Now, it's not quite as creamy as I'd like. So, the solution to that, although it seems strange, more pasta water. A little bit at a time. And then you will see that it will actually not get watery, it'll get creamier.
What's the cheese again?
The cheese is pecorino, which is a sheep's milk. And if you don't have pecorino, you could use Parmesan. And, you know, definitely for this dish, like, ooh, we just had some pasta fly off the table, everybody. That's for later. If you don't, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, get some good quality cheese for this, if you can. if you can, because your ingredients are so simple, you really want them to shine. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a wee bit more cheese and just a bit more pasta water. And this is getting really, really creamy right now. I love the way this looks. Now this is a great dish to taste as you go. You know, there's no meat that's undercooked. You know, it's just pasta and cheese and water. And you really want to make sure to get that flavor right. So, I think at this point I've added about half a cup of pasta water in total to a half a pound of pasta. Ooh, this looks so good. This might be my best one yet. I think this is also my husband's favorite pasta dish as well, but I don't know.
I thought the last one was.
The carbonara. Oh, that's right. Every pasta dish is his favorite. Okay, so this is beautiful right now, and I'm not going to fuss with it anymore, other than to try a noodle and make sure we're okay. I mean, I don't want to lie to you. Yeah, we're more than okay. All right, so, I want to show you 2 ways to serve this, and I'm going to talk about the little cheese bowls that I made. First of all, I love a nice shallow pasta bowl like this. Get our tongs. I'm still working on that swirl. I think the shorter tongs kind of help. Ooh. Kind of swirl it in the middle. Okay. Maybe one more. We're going for a generous serving here. So this is your entree portion. I'm going to show this to the camera, because the reason I have this camera up here, which you may have noticed, is because very soon I will edit this and we'll send it out to you so you can get a recap, a short one, minus me yammering on about everything. So now I have one little crisp that I made here, and I can always just put it in the top like that, not standing up. Man. Anyway, like that, or you could tuck it under on the side, and then you could crumble that up on top as you're eating it, which is a really nice way to serve it. You could also have my little bowl, do little appetizer portions for a party. I did this once for a risotto. I made Massimo Bottura's Cacio e Pepe, well, it's like his famous risotto, not Cacio e Pepe, but, and I made the Parmesan cream and everything, and then I made these bowls out of Parmesan. That was an effort. So I could stick this in here. How cute is that for a first course? Okay, so the way to make this is you can do it one of 2 ways. First, I'm stuck. First, you could use a non-stick pan. And I have a non-stick pan, but unfortunately, it doesn't work on this burner. If anyone knows of a non-stick pan that works on an induction burner, please leave it in the comments, because mine does not. Only works on my gas stove. Okay, that is ridiculously cute. So what you can do on a non-stick pan is you can put your cheese, pecorino or Parmesan, you heat it up, put a little Colavita olive oil in the pan, and then pour your cheese onto it like a pancake. Press it down and let it sizzle, spatula, and flip it. And if you're making the bowl, you can take the little disc. You want me to show them to you?
Pull everything back.
Pull everything back. We're having some focus issues.
No, it's just not on the screen.
Oh, well, there you go. So after you take it out of the pan, it's flat, but it's still bendable because it's warm. You just stick it in a little bowl and you can form it, and then it'll dry in that shape. The other way you can do it is you can bake them in your oven at 425 degrees. You can put a sheet of parchment on a baking sheet and form almost like little cookies of cheese, flatten them out, and bake them for a couple minutes. You don't even have to flip them at that point, maybe like 5 minutes. And then take them out and really carefully form them into bowls. And that's how you would do it. That's really it. It's a really, really like fun, not so fancy, but seems fancy technique. So honestly, that's it. That is dinner in a flash with Cacio Pepe. So let's review real quick because you guys have been nice enough to come here. I want to make sure you didn't miss any information. Simple ingredients: Colavita olive oil, freshly ground black pepper, pasta water, pecorino cheese, and some pasta, preferably spaghetti or bucatini, one of those guys. Then you heat up your pepper in the saute pan with a little olive oil. Add your pasta water, about 1/4 cup. Throw in your pasta, because you've undercooked it, of course. And it'll finish cooking in the pan. Turn off your heat, add your cheese and more pasta water until it gets super creamy, and then serve. And everyone is happy. I promise, everyone is really, really happy. That's it. So that concludes today's instruction, but I will be back here on Thursday at 3 p.m. and we are going to be taking a poll for what we're making on Thursday because I don't even know what it is. So if you follow us on Facebook and Instagram, you can find the poll, and if you don't, please follow us, and you'll find the poll for Thursday, and you'll get to vote. And whatever wins, I will make. So Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern, I will be back here with something brand new. We have a question.
Where can we find the posts, the recap of this?
Yes, great question. So the recap, the Facebook video will be on Facebook. It lives on Facebook for forever, I believe. But we will also send out a recap video via our newsletter. So if you sign up at colavita.com, you'll get a full recap, plus all the recipes, if you feel like cooking along, that kind of a thing. So head over to colavita.com and subscribe to our newsletter so you can get the recaps and the recipes. Any other questions for us? I know it's so simple. There are no questions. You're all geniuses. You're now Cacio e Pepe geniuses. Please go make this. And if you do, tag us at Colavita USA and we will show off your beautiful creations. And that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much. I know it was a short one, but throw me something more complicated next time and I'll hang out for longer. All right. Have a great night, everybody. Enjoy your pasta.